Welcome back, everybody, to the Best Buds podcast, episode 5 of season 2. And we are here with the season 1 OG. Yes, Mr. Bodie, back in the chat with the boys. We got a good episode coming for you guys. But before we get into that, let's get kicked off straight away. Songs of the week. Who wants to start?
I can start. I got a little calm one. But I think it ties in well to the theme of this podcast. So, Punching the Clock by J. Cole. And the reason I chose this one is because that Damian Lillard quote at the end. What happens in the dark will always come to light.
That's one of my favorite J. Cole songs. That's one of my favorite J. Cole songs. Oh. Go for it. Yeah.
Reggae of the week from your boy. Finna go with the GOAT Bob Marley because it's pure, you know. Forever loving Jah. You know, first 30 seconds of the song, that doo 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 doo. You're locked. Okay?
We heard that, right? We heard that at the his kids played that. I think.
Maybe it's a banger.
Lily,
just play that song for about 1.5, 2 seconds. You can turn it off there, and you'll be good for that.
The vibes are set.
I like that.
Go ahead, Bo.
I'm giving y'all a little throwback. Slime Ball by Young Nudie.
I'd expect nothing less.
He's got an album coming out tomorrow night, Slimier 2.
Oh, it is tomorrow night. I
missed his free listening party tonight to do this podcast. So.
Hell yeah. We appreciate it.
We appreciate the sacrifice.
I'll finish it off. I was just like walking around campus today, and I had my Spotify on the, like the smart shuffle thing, where it's like shuffles and puts new songs in, and I got like 10 Drake songs in a row. And I was just like, oh, word, okay. But Hours in Silence just really caught me today. I was like, oof, forgot about this one.
That is a great song, dude.
Forgot about this one.
That's the one that's like 6 minutes, right?
I think maybe it's a banger. It's a banger.
Dude, because he goes on a tangent. If it's the song,
it is 6.5 minutes. Him and 21. Yeah.
Yes, bro. He goes on a tangent in the middle of that song.
Crazy. I was just walking and I was like, yo, wait, this is Hours in Silence. So shout out Drake, shout out Hours in Silence. We'll move along with the weekend. Nothing too crazy happened, I don't think, sporting wise, event wise.
The Steelers.
Don't talk about that, man.
My fault.
Don't talk about that, man.
My roommate.
I don't even watch sports.
Massive Steelers fan.
God, dude. God. Yeah, that was disappointing.
From PA, so.
But
young defensive lineman sold the game too.
Hey, we're a young team. We're gonna keep getting better. We got the Eagles this week, so hopefully we'll take care of them.
Hey, the Panthers won in
Panthers.
Germany.
Panthers have been turning it around, dude. I love those clips of Xavier Legette. That dude is hilarious.
Wait, did you say in Germany?
Yeah, they were in Munich.
Yeah, they played a game in Germany, bro.
Against who?
The Giants.
Oh yeah.
The Giants are so bad.
NFL's going worldwide.
So like international series.
They've done a few games in London.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because there's like American football fans all over the place. They don't get to see games like that. So
yeah, that's actually very smart.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Yeah. So not a whole lot going on, but we've got a pretty interesting episode for you guys. Something that we're all pretty immersed in, have some experience in, and then some of us are getting some schooling in. So hopefully we have some good tidbits and pointers for some of you guys listening. And basically today's episode is about training, how to get into training if you're getting started, finding a reason to keep training every day, working out, whatever that is. And then once you get into that routine, what benefits you'll see, and then just other ways to stay healthy as you live your lives and go forward with your daily tasks.
A little more specific than our health and wellness.
Yeah, and a little bit more physical functionality wise, I think. We touched a little bit, but not as in depth as we'll get here. So to kick it off, let's just go around. I'll start. I don't have any experience outside of just working out for almost my whole life, playing sports, and kind of just learning things as I go and taking things from the people that I've met. So that's about what I bring to the table. I will be getting certified as a personal trainer, and that's something I look forward to. And kind of just learning and growing more as I continue to work out. But the rest of you guys have a little bit more.
I'll go next. Or should we let one of the certified?
Nah, you go. Lead the certified OGs for the end, man.
All right. It's why are we qualified? Or not why are we qualified?
Yeah,
our
just
personal
like
experiences
yeah.
with the where we come from with the topic. I don't really have any education on it. Mine's all very personal. I did basketball. Obviously, I played basketball for a while. Been working out, and Pop's always made us, stay in shape. But I guess now, I think what makes it kind of a little more qualified is my fighting, because I've been much more intentional with my learning, and I've been teaching as well. I've been doing personal training with fighting. So I've done group training, and I've done one-on-one training. And then obviously I've also been training myself. And I started off, mostly just by myself with it all. So just a lot of personal experience. Nothing really not really in the books though.
Bo, talk to us.
All right, so just like all of us in here played basketball, we all played together. That was a hell of a 4 years of staying in shape.
Hell of a
Maybe
one.
not bu-
Hell of a
maybe
1
not
year that was
building
actually good for
muscle.
me. We definitely stayed in
Maybe-
shape.
Oh,
Yeah, using shape all 4 years.
endurance-wise, you could have chased us for about 10 miles. You wouldn't have caught us.
It really amazes me how we did some of that stuff.
Yeah, endurance-wise, I'm nowhere near where I was, but still work out regularly. I did graduate from UNCW with a degree in exercise science, so took a bunch of classes learning about how to lift properly, what to eat, how to set up your lifts so that you can do it properly and get the maximum benefit from what you're trying to do and have good goals and what you're trying to accomplish. So I enjoy talking about this topic, and especially translating it to when I work out myself. So
Yeah, and you're furthering. I mean, you're getting the chiropractic degree now, so
also
furthering your
going through it all again, learning about the human body and whatnot.
Yeah, super dope. Jack.
So obviously played basketball with you guys in high school. Played soccer too. I mean,
Can I mention one thing?
Yeah.
We say we trained basketball in high school. This ain't no regular basketball coach.
This is not what y'all think is like. We lifted a couple weights.
I really like to think of it as like a.
And my high school experience and training was hard in way harder in my junior college. Obviously it's JUCO. It's not like an actual college, but my high school training was way. I got a JUCO and I was like, this is easy, yo. Like, what are y'all complaining for? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I can relate to that too. Like, I played college soccer, and I still think high school basketball was harder, training wise. And I mean, soccer was difficult, but yeah, the mental side of it was also huge. I think, yeah, just a young developing kid trying to figure out how to fit into a basketball team can be slightly overwhelming with the right coach. But yeah, so I played college soccer. I studied biology at Guilford College, and then now I'm in physical therapy school at Charleston Southern. And so, yeah, kind of like Bodie, I'm really interested in all these topics. I mean, it's going to be my profession, so hopefully we can give y'all some good advice on this podcast.
Yeah, I think, all the stuff we talked about, people be able to take in their own way, and that's the beauty of it. But let's get right into it, man. I'm excited. So the first thing we kind of have labeled out, and it's kind of obvious, is where do you start with working out and being a physically active and healthy person?
Yeah, so the first thing that comes to my mind when we were kind of thinking about this was like, if you're just getting started working out, say you've never touched a weight, like you've just done school gym class, now you kind of nobody's forcing you to work out, you're on your own. One thing I would advise is like, don't just look up like an Arnold split or like bodybuilding workouts. Like, make sure that's a quick way to not have like a enjoy it and not have like the longevity that you would need to actually see the benefits from working out.
You gotta have a good baseline to start off. Find some stuff that you like that's keeping you active and build off of that. Whether that
Yeah,
be running, body weight workouts, lightweight stuff, like just don't you want to prevent or avoid injury at the beginning of your working out process or
I think a good
journey.
rule of thumb is like with anything is begin to understand yourself, know what you like, know what you want to do, know what's going to keep you going back. So, take the time to understand how you feel about things and how can you convince yourself or create a reason to get into it. You got to
Yeah,
understand yourself.
good.
There's a Bruce Lee
Like
quote that goes, the you cannot master anything until you learn to master yourself, and then you can begin to fully become a master of something. Once you've mastered yourself, now you can start to conquer other things.
yeah, good way to to stay consistent too would be like set small goals first, whether that be like a body weight or a consistency goal, like you want to work out a certain amount of days a week for a certain amount of months. Hit that goal first and then go from there. Don't
Go on a
set
walk.
too large don't set too large of goals because it's too hard to hit those and then you end up giving up. That's a bad way to start.
Goals are meant to be surpassed. I think that's
Exactly.
one of the things
Yeah,
about goals with working out. Another thing I'll add to that too, it's it's sometimes it's really hard to push yourself when you're alone. And I think that's one of the things that we can
yeah.
do naturally from sports. Just like that ingrained like I know how to push myself because I've been to these limits. But so one thing too, like signing up for an exercise class may be a good way to get into it. Like and or like
Find a little
joining
community.
some type of community, yeah. That's always gonna make stuff easier, no matter what it is.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
like
I
convince a
thought that.
coworker to work out, or somebody
Yeah,
like, or do something like an at-home YouTube video. Something where you're like getting comfortable with it.
I thought that like moving and living by myself would make me be able to be more disciplined, but I found it more of a struggle than whenever I was living with other people. I can't really put it into words, but it was honest. It's been a good setback for me because it helps me understand a different part of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
same here. I mean, it's different when I was living with Bodie compared to
Definitely.
other times. Whoever you're living with, you adopt their habits, and that can help. And then I just wanted to touch back on what Bodie said about the small goals and kind of stacking them and making sure in my leadership class we talk about the law of momentum and the law of small victories as leaders, and how if you can use different laws, there's like 21 laws of leadership, but if you can use these different laws to move forward, and then that's how you create habits and lasting effects, whether it's on a team or yourself. So it's just something I applied to that. But kind of moving forward with it, so that's like if you're a beginner, and starting working out there. If say like all of us, we're all now retired athletes for the most part. Zion obviously kickboxes.
Minus 9.
Yeah, he's a retired basketball player. So,
Okay.
but I guess more so for us three and all the other former athletes. How do you, you know, how do you start from that? Like, obviously you're not going to train like we were front squatting, 255 pounds for 15 reps for 4 sets. Like,
Can I say something?
yeah.
Because, like, let's uncondition our minds real quick. We aren't retired. Y'all aren't retired athletes.
I'm saying, yeah, no.
We're not athletes for a certain organization anymore.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
we still do physical activity, and we still, we get out there, and even if it's, simple things like going outside and playing with your kids, like you're doing some athletic stuff. You may not be on a team or nothing.
Yeah, we're all very much athletes. We're all very much athletes.
Yeah.
We are all retired.
I just don't want people to feel like there's a pressure behind, like, you need to be on an organization in order to, like, do certain things. You know what I'm saying? Or consider yourself an athlete. Like,
Some of the most athletic
Yeah, no, I
people
worded that wrong for
have
sure.
never played team sports. They just, work out and do their own thing.
you didn't word it wrong. I'm just weird about that type of stuff.
No, we're not. Yeah, I get what you're saying though. I get what you're saying. But where y'all boys starting? You graduate high school, no more team to report to in the summer or whatever. It's just yourself. Well, it's yourself to report to, and that's where it gets real. I feel like for a lot of people.
I'd
reason do
go
you
back
find-
to what we said earlier was like find what you like and then set small goals. And then once you get used to doing what you have found that you like, try to push yourself to do stuff that could maybe focus on a different aspect of your body or a different goal or skill that you want to accomplish or hit, which I think that not only keeps you engaged but also just like helps you further your ability to do all the things that you want to be able to do.
Yeah, I
Go ahead.
agree with that. I think we're gonna touch on this a little bit later, but for me, like once I was done on a team and like didn't really have anything to report to, I stopped going to the gym for like 3 months. I was just like, I'm just gonna chill. Like,
It
why?
feels real good to chill for a while.
And then I start like that was kind of when gym culture started to get really big on social media. So I'd see all these things, then I'd be like, dang, dude, like
You see some big boys.
I'm not worth anything. Like, look at my arms. Like, I need to go to the gym. And then that's kind of what got me started. It was like just that I want to look better motivation. But then as you get into it, I think you can really find like if there's a strong purpose for why you want to work out. Like for me now, I'm working out to one, feel good, but also to like be able to do my job in a healthy way. And
Set a good example
not
for patients.
that's a huge part of it. But then also like if I have to move, say I have to do like a transfer, like lift heavy weights, I want to be able to do that without back pain, without hip pain, whatever. Like, and so now that's my motivation. That's what keeps me going to the gym. But it doesn't have to like directly come from an exact purpose per se. I think like my purpose at first was just wanting to look good. But I think as you find that, it gets easier.
So I would say, like, kind of tying into like mastering yourself and understanding yourself. Not everyone's going to have a purpose. Not everyone's going to be able to find a purpose before they start working out. Sometimes you just got to start doing it, and then as you're doing it, you'll start to create that purpose. And I think it's important to understand yourself so you can create a purpose. For example, personal like experience for me, a purpose that I've created for myself and since I was a little kid was I wasn't blessed with a grandfather or any grandfather figure in my life. So one of the things that I've always wanted to do is make sure that I'm healthy enough to get to that age where I'm a grandfather and my grandkids can look up to me and be like, grandpa's healthy and he's still taking care of himself. So that's like me understanding myself and constantly going back to that and creating that purpose. And that's outside of being an athlete. That's outside of kickboxing or anything else. That's just something that I understand about myself, and it's in healthy understanding. I may be. It's one of those things where I'm like kind of relating to, uh, not trauma, but like a loss, a lack of something, but I'm using it in a positive way to kind of spin it on its head. So just like mastering yourself, and just figuring out what your body, what your ego, because sometimes you don't want to be manipulated by your ego, but you can flip that around. And if you understand your ego enough, you can start to make your ego work with you
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
in a positive way.
I think that, yeah, developing yourself and figuring out yourself is a huge part of it. For me, personally, I think at first, like everybody, at first we all lifted for basketball, to win basketball games, to be stronger, faster than everybody else. And then I think, kind of like what Jasper said at first, like I started lifting because I wanted to look good. I wanted to look better. And then for me personally, when I injured my knee and went through that process of feeling physically like unwell and unable to do a lot of the things that I had always been able to do with ease, that was my motivation from then on. Like I told myself, I was like, from this day forward, I'm working my butt off to make sure that I can run when I'm 50, 60 years old and move around and do all these things. So like a little bit of what both of you guys said, and I know that like we share a lot of the same purposes for going to the gym, but yeah, personally for me, like when I hurt my knee, yeah. And to this day, dude, like leg day, like love leg day. Love leg day.
I hit legs today.
Same, brother. Yeah.
My quads felt like rocks when I walked out of the gym.
I think that's a powerful thing, though, like taking a, negative experience and kind of turning it into your motivation.
Yeah.
I think if you have the opportunity to do that, I think that can be really powerful.
And it's a good balance of like understanding your negativity and using it for something positive instead of identifying with your negativity and bringing yourself down
Yeah.
and bringing everyone else down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
longevity is a very important thing, and
yeah, and understanding for
being able to go ahead.
yeah, and for me, it was also like understanding when my body did not feel good at all, and then feeling the feeling of when my body did feel good.
I would say too, like sometimes
staying active.
If you're one of those people that gets into it and it's like you're hooked, you have to do it every day. Obviously, you do need rest days. Like you got to give your body a rest so it can grow. Then that's great. But if you're one of those people that like you find yourself trying to do it every day and you're just burning yourself out and you can't do it, like understand. That's where you got to understand yourself. Like maybe take a week off now the next week, and now you're like, okay, now I'm ready to get back into it. Don't take so much time off where you're now scared to get back into it. You got to find that good balance of like, not maybe 2 or maybe 4 days off, not even a full week, maybe just 3 days off every once in a while. Just be like, all right, let me just take these 3 days off, just so, because I'm getting kind of burnt out on it. What do I like to do to where I can continue to consistently do this instead of like going hard for a month, going hard for like 3 weeks, and then now you're like burnt out. You don't even want to do it, and you stop doing it for like 4 months.
Yeah, that's
So
perfect.
understanding yourself and finding that balance of what will keep me. How can I be consistent with this?
Yeah, if you're one of those people that finds yourself getting burnt out, it's definitely a good idea to try and set a schedule where you have enough days throughout the week where you're not working out. Like when I got to UNCW, I was working out like 3 days a week. That was it, because I wasn't lifting a whole lot before after we were done with high school and with COVID and all that. But 3 days a week was like, that was a good sweet spot for me when I was getting back into lifting. And then I was like, okay, I feel good. Like I'm not super sore after and in between my workouts. So I felt like I could kick it up to like 4 or 5 days a week. And so that's what I did. And then I kept that going for a while. And it's a good way to start small and build from that. Don't try to jump too high and fall on your face.
Unless that's what you like, unless you're that type of person, you just like to go balls to the wall and then go for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just part of figuring out yourself.
Exactly.
Rome wasn't built in one day, for sure. And I think starting small, you may feel like, okay, I did 20 push-ups today. I don't feel anything. I don't feel any different. But like, that does make a difference, And not only like does it physically make a difference, but mentally, it proves to you that you can go out and do 20 push-ups. So now you have no excuse to not do it.
Yeah. I think that's the beauty of it, and that's the focus is you figure out your why and your reason for working out, and then the consistency follows, and then the results follow, and all that. And so moving on along to that, benefits of working out. I mean, this is the fun part. Like, if you can get in the gym consistently every day, whatever that looks like, even some days it's lifting, some days cardio, whatever works best for you, dude, the benefits are endless.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about a lot of different things here, and I think the easiest thing to talk about is probably just like mental health, and how it kind of gives you a chance to clear your mind when you're working out. It can almost be meditative in a way, for me especially. And also just like you feel lighter on your feet, you feel better, you're almost like more inclined to do tasks. Like I know when I work out, like I'm like, oh, I might clean the kitchen. Like I'm up moving. I know it's gonna make my day easier if I just do it now. And yeah, so I think, and for some reason I keep getting this picture in my mind. Like, y'all ever walk out the gym? It's like spring day. You say like 70 degrees, clear sky, and the sun just hits you like right when you walk out the gym.
Oh,
Take that deep breath.
feel your
Oh my
muscles
God,
tingling. You feel
dude.
your muscles just
Chest poking out a little bit.
Yes, like chest to the shoulder. You just, yeah. I don't need to get into too many details, but if you felt that feeling,
Aura farming.
yeah, call it what you want.
I mean, that's definitely true. Like, no matter if you're already a confident person, I feel like going to the gym and building your body definitely helps you be mentally more confident in yourself and your capabilities on
Yeah,
many
or if
different levels.
you're not a confident person, that shit'll help.
Yes,
That builds your
exactly.
confidence.
build it up. Yeah.
It helps a lot.
Another thing too with the gym is sex drive. Definitely, like it just improves that life as well. That's a real thing. It's something that a lot of people do, and the gym helps improve that side of life too. So like, you feel me? Get
Yeah,
out. If that's your reason for going, if that's what you create, that's what you want to do, then that's a
Or if
working
it's
out.
just a
I'm all for
benefit,
it, man.
or
Go
if
work
it's
out.
just a benefit, he's not
You can
speaking
reap more
anything
benefits than you
false.
realize.
yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, Mom, if you're listening, but I completely agree with Zion here. Speaking just from personal experience, like you, not only is it your drive, but like your just overall performance, like
No,
straight
seriously.
up.
Yeah.
Shoulders don't burn out so quick.
Your hips. My hips. Whew.
Core strength.
Hip
All
thrusts,
of it.
name it, bro.
All right.
All of it.
Speaking of, leg strength. What is it? Leg strength is huge. People make fun of the skipping leg day, the chicken
Don't skip
leg, the
leg day.
chicken
Your
legs
legs
in the
take you
gym.
places.
Yeah. So like,
That's
let's
my big thing. Legs take you places. You need those things, man. Don't neglect your legs.
so important. So
Yeah.
You look
important.
goofy when you don't hit legs anyway. If you top heavy, that ain't good. That ain't
But
a
Yeah.
good
look,
look.
at the same time though, if you're in the gym, you're in the gym. If you're not hitting
Yeah.
legs, that's all right. At least you're there. At least you're there doing something.
It's just our
But we are
severe
definitely,
suggestion. We
yeah,
are pushing you to hit legs 2 times a
yeah.
week at least, and hard. You want to be
Being
if
a
you're lifting.
proportionate looking human being is a great thing. You don't
Another
want to
thing
be
too,
unproportionate.
coming from a fighter, like, don't think that because you're this big buff guy up top that you're going to be able to do damage. Because whenever you're throwing punches, you punch from the ground, you punch from your hips, you punch from the legs, and in all sports, you generate
All
power from
athletic.
your legs. So
Yeah.
don't
I always
think
think
just
about
because you're some meathead, you're top heavy that you can, push people around, dog. Like, you might be a little easier to push around, brother. Not me.
Yeah.
You're
I'm a light
serious
guy,
though.
so
Yeah. One of the studies I've looked at from school, it's a study that looks at correlating leg strength with longevity. And so basically, what the study says is the stronger your legs are, the longer you live. And that's because your quality of life is so much higher. So think about if someone's older, they don't have enough leg strength to let's say, even get out of bed. They're missing out on socializing. They're feeling the detriments in their body, like if muscle sits for 2 and 3 days, you're gonna lose that muscle mass or some form of it. And then taking care of your surroundings, all those types of things, doing things you enjoy. Leg strength literally gives you those things. Stronger your legs are, the longer you'll live. Basically.
There you go.
The better your life will be.
Just do something with your legs. I think is the baseline that we're trying to get across. Whether it is heavy lifting, whether it is body weight or movement
So you could
or
always do like lunges around the house with like light weight.
yes.
Put a book bag on and do lunges in the crib. Like
I think
start there.
I think just walking is like
that's
one
what I
of
was
the
gonna
most
say
powerful
next.
workouts.
Yeah.
Like just if you can't do anything at all, at least just go walk. Like go outside. The sunlight actually gives you natural what is it? I think it's one of those
Vitamin D.
it's one of those happy
Tonins.
chemicals.
It's one of those
It's like
tonins.
dopamine or serotonin. One of those.
Something.
Sunlight in your eyes gives you that as well. So and also you're just out walking. You're breathing good fresh air. Like if you can't do anything, at least go
for
on
a
a walk.
Go for a walk.
Take care of those legs. Move your body. Be grateful for the beautiful earth that we are here on. Just go walk.
It's a good one.
Yeah. And so kind of on that, healthy living standard, we'll finish up here with ways that we stay healthy while working out, prevent injuries, different foods we might be eating at different times, or how much of certain amounts of foods, and just a couple proper body mechanics and ways to be lifting and moving yourself when working out. And then we'll wrap up on that one and see what we have here.
Yeah, I think me and Bodie were talking about this a little bit before the pod started. Warming up really slept on when you're working out by yourself. Huge.
Helps prevent injury.
Yeah. If you go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week and you're not warming up, you're putting yourself at a way bigger risk of getting injured.
Okay, so what are you doing? You go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. Give the people 2 or 3 things that you can do.
I got something that I could add.
Stretches.
Yeah, we can go around. We can go around. However,
Go ahead.
I'll go ahead because I just did this workout with my team today. And this is exactly how it went. Got in there. First thing we did, I knew that we were going to be hitting. I wanted to do some shoulder strength and conditioning. So we did some dynamic stretches, mostly with the shoulders because we were going to be moving our shoulders a lot. And that's just getting the blood flowing in those muscle groups. Not stretching out the muscle, but just getting it flowing. Because whenever I start, I don't want to stretch out the muscle entirely. I save that for the end. And then we did some.
I'll give a little tidbit. That's great.
That's perfect.
That's back.
You don't want to stretch out before you work out. That's an after the workout thing.
So dynamic stretching to start, and then we did warm ups. So we did dynamic stretch, and then we warmed up. Warmed up with like some lunges, deep squats, hip openers, like the toe touch things. This is a kickboxing / boxing class, so getting the legs warmed up as well. Did some jump rope, a little bit of shadow boxing, so they got the whole body moving. And then we went into the workout, which was just combos, worked on some combos back and forth, offense, defense. And then after the combos, we did strength and conditioning. Or not strength and conditioning. We really just did conditioning. Just punching the bag. We did 1-2-1-2s for a minute, we did a lot of that, and then we did some power hooks. And then we finished with stretching. I had everyone sit in front of me, and I just took them through a deep stretch, and that was where that was at the end of the workout. Just do the whole deep stretch, which I'm the only coach that has done that for the team, and everyone really liked it. Everyone came up to me and told me that they like how I formatted the workout, so I thought that was good. And
that's crazy. Nobody else stretching?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we weren't even supposed to have practice today because it's Veterans Day, but like a lot of people showed up because no one really checked the website. And I was supposed to be working out, but there wasn't a coach there, so I was like, all right, I'll coach, and I came up with something real quick. That's what I came up with, and we kind of kept it short. And since no one was supposed to be there anyways, I decided we, instead of sparring at the end, because I feel like a lot of sports kind of expect their people to train on or to stretch on their own time. But I was like, I know, like, not everyone's gonna be able to fit that in. This is why they're here, because this is where they want to fit in that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to take the class through with the stretching as well.
No, that's good that you're showing them that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I'm teaching them what they can do for themselves in their own time.
Yeah, and that's a great example of, even if you're doing specialized training or lifting of sorts, you still need to be warming up and cooling down. Bodie and Jasper, say I'm going to like a rec center or whatever, or a gym. What are you doing to warm up before lifting weights or whatever you're doing in the gym that day?
So for me, it depends on what I'm hitting. So say it's a leg day. I'm going to go get on the stationary bike for like 5 minutes. I like to do that because sometimes I don't plan my workouts. I'll just do whatever I can whenever I get in there. So that gives me a little bit of time to think of something. And kind of like what Zion said, the concept of just getting your blood flowing to what you're going to be working out and like just getting it warm, like physically warm, is so important. So important. So yeah, I'll hit the stationary bike for a little bit. And then I've been doing this one with the kettlebell, so I'll get kind of like a heavier kettlebell, and I'll front rack it, or put it in front of me basically, and then drop down kind of from like wide stance, drop down into a squat, and just kind of like let the weight push my hips. So I'll kind of like tilt to the side, tilt to the side.
Like a little bit of a weighted movement sort
of thing. Get my
hips
used to like just feeling some load, basically.
I like that.
And then if, say I'm going to do like, so then after that I usually go to like my main compound movement. And with that, just do a light version of it like 10 times.
Yeah.
And then by that point, I'm pretty warmed up. It's honestly simple stuff.
Yeah, it's really simple. Getting your body acclimated to what you're about to do. Don't just jump into your heaviest lift of the day or a tougher lift of the day that you have
ego lifting
scheduled or whatever. Yeah, ego lifting is a hell of a way to go out. But
yeah, and we can go through like an arm day too. So say like I'll usually do, instead of the stationary bike, I'll do the assault bike for the arm and mainly just push like this. And then
push-ups.
Push-ups are a great one. I love to get on the cables. I'll get on the cables and do like some external rotation at your shoulder. And then depending on what I'm hitting that day, I'll isolate the muscle.
You could do that with bands too. That's a great
bands,
one.
yeah.
Bands are great.
That's a good shout.
Really good to warm up the muscles and not stress them out too much before you get into your actual lift.
Yeah.
That helps. That definitely aids in longevity of your joints and whatnot.
And there's so many tiny, like with those big joints, shoulders, hips, knees, there's so many tiny muscles that go in, that are intertwined in your body, and you got to show them love. And
they don't get,
because a lot of times one is overpowered, and then that's what creates discrepancies, injuries, things like that.
For sure.
Okay, so that's your like injury prevention, mobility, and goes into proper mechanics. I think, I don't know if anybody wants to touch further on that, but just making sure you kind of have an idea of. Yeah, go ahead.
If you're getting into lifting and you don't know the proper mechanics, using the lifting machines to start before you maybe like get some coaching help or watch some
YouTube
videos on how to properly lift weights is a good way to stay in the proper range of motion or gait, you could say, like doing certain lifts. It's definitely a good way to start off doing some lighter weight, getting a feel for the proper motion of what you're doing or whatever it might be. Like, I mean, they have lifting machines for every possible
movement
in the body nowadays. So it's a good way to get into what you're trying to do. Before you really know how to do free weights necessarily.
It's definitely free weights for sure.
So kind of going off of that, if you're not, necessarily maybe being smart, or you go into free weightlifting, I mean, you touched on the big joints earlier. Is that like the areas that are most vulnerable to injury as well when lifting?
I would say it kind of obviously just depends, and that's kind of like an answer you could use for a lot of things. But I think definitely your shoulders. To me, the shoulder is the most vulnerable joint in the body.
You hear about it all the time.
That's 100% a fact. It's actually a fact.
Yeah, it has the most.
The most vulnerable human body by far. It's the most flexible joint, and whenever in terms of if you're falling, that's the one that's usually going to catch you. It's taking a lot of hard blows, so it's something you got to take care of for sure.
I think mobility directly correlates with vulnerability. So, like with your knees, they can move like 150 degrees. So then, and then your shoulder is 180. It can go all the way. So I think, and then like your hips are 120 and then 30. So it's like it just depends. With more range of motion, more mobility, there's a little bit more vulnerability. So you got to be careful. Like you don't want to be pushing a bunch of weight up over your shoulder because it's at a vulnerable position, or you don't want to be like doing a bunch of weight with your knees fully bent because they're kind of at a vulnerable position. So being smart about those things, I think, are going to help. And then also one more tidbit I'll add on to that. Like a proper hinge, like say you're doing a squat, deadlift, whatever, comes from your legs. So don't bend over with your back straight and then try to pick up a weight. Bend your knees and drop down and pick something up.
Yeah.
It's a good tidbit.
That's what we learned in school. I'm just sharing you guys with that, or sharing that knowledge.
Yeah, you don't want to be leaning too far forward. Your knees have to be bent enough so that your back isn't like this. It's more at a straighter 90 degree, 45 degree angle.
Mm-hmm.
Spine degeneration, doesn't it start at like 23? Once you're 23, your spine doesn't start. It doesn't. That's it. So
yeah, that's what you got.
Let me sit up. Let me sit up. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, that's all great stuff, boys. That's all fantastic stuff. Trying to keep ourselves and the people a little bit healthier moving forwards. Does anybody want to touch on diet and eating? I think just making sure you're eating food whenever you're working out is the biggest thing. Depending on.
Oh my gosh, you need to give your body energy, yo. Like,
dude.
Don't deprive your body of energy and thinking this is healthy for me. No, you're just eating the wrong. You're probably just eating the wrong things. There's food that you can eat that can sustain your body that is also healthy for your body. It's not sitting in your body, so you just got to find the right things to eat and the right time to eat them. Like no late night, no super late night, because your stomach's falling asleep. So how's it gonna digest?
You're gonna wake up.
Actually, what I've heard is that you don't get as good of a sleep because your whole body isn't
it's out of.
If you eat right before bed, your body's still working, so you don't get as much of a good sleep through the night.
Definitely good healthy eating habits are very important.
Your body also doesn't digest it as well, so you'll probably gain more fat rather than the food and nutrients that you just ate going to muscles. It's just going to turn into
stored energy
fat in your stomach or wherever your fat deposit goes.
I've always heard this saying, abs are made in the kitchen. And I always thought that it meant like the kitchen, like you're deep in the workout. It's hot. But now
it's hot.
Abs are made from your diet. You eat clean, eat the right things, and you will see tenfold the benefit eating healthy and clean and working out versus eating really crappy and working out. You will see.
Let's give some examples of what.
Shout out my mama.
Okay, let's eat.
Avoid fast food. It's too processed. I mean, like obviously, like every once in a while, you want to go and get like cookout or something like that. Treat yourself like once in a while, but try and
if you're trying to see the highest results,
stay away from the outside walls at a grocery or the inside walls at a grocery store. That's
Yeah.
actually something that I learned in school. All the crappy stuff is in the inside aisles. The good stuff is on the outside.
That's
Like the
that's
protein.
true. Actually, the vegetables,
Wow.
the fruit, the
It's the first
meat,
time I've heard that. That's
the
great.
dairy.
All the meat's on the back wall.
Yeah.
Dairy's on the left side. Vegetables on the
That
right.
is crazy, actually.
And I
Yeah.
think, I mean, honestly, sticking to that, that's going to
Oh,
get you
seriously, I'm being so
the right
serious.
plate. Yeah. Because, I mean, a vegetable is important.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, one of the things I've noticed just living on my own, my mom would always have fruit around, always like a little bowl of fruit just on the table, something like that. Man, I took that for granted. Oh my gosh.
I swear.
Not having like fruit is such a delicacy and is so important. And now I have such greater appreciation for it now that I have to buy it myself.
I agree.
And yeah, so getting some good fruits in is great.
I'm getting a little bag
I
of
think-
grapes. A little bag of the thing of
Yeah,
grapes,
it's such
boy.
a better small snack than like candies or like chips or something too.
And it's
Much
good.
better.
It's good, man. Grapes are good. Or an
I
apple.
eat
pre-workout.
I'll eat a lot. I'll eat a bunch of carrots,
Mm-hmm. Broccoli.
apples, bananas, broccoli.
Yeah. I think it
That's
comes back to, starting out working out or whatever and finding what works for your workout. Find what works for your diet that's in a healthy way. Find what you like, combine it, get a little crazy in the kitchen. That's part of it.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about social media. There's so many recipes out there.
It's easy nowadays. It's easy.
It's something easy, man. One pot chicken and rice.
Yeah.
Chicken and rice.
Can't go
Yeah.
wrong. Can't go wrong with the classic. Can't go wrong with the classic.
You can put any sauce on there, whatever sauce you want.
And if you're trying to lose weight, just replace the rice with like
Lettuce,
like
romaine,
a chicken salad.
romaine. I've been getting
Yeah, you
romaine
can
from
do
the
like
store. Just shred it up. It's gas. Get the low fat sauce or the low sugar sauce. And you can't really tell much of a
Yeah,
difference.
sugar. I was gonna say, I'm trying to lose weight for before my fights. Cutting out that sugar
Mm-hmm.
helps so much. Cause sugar, if you pour like a soda onto a table, this is how I think of it. Think of like the surfaces inside your body. If you pour soda onto a table and you let it sit, it gets real sticky. So if you try to slide other foods and stuff through that, you can't go through your body as much. It's sticking to the surfaces
Slows it
inside your
down.
body.
Yeah.
So when you're drinking things, like you pour water onto a table and you slide something through, it's gonna smoothly go through that surface. So whenever I'm starting to cut weight for my fights, I do consume sugar and everything, but like a week before my fight, I drink a whole bunch of water because I'm thinking of like
Cleaning
washing
it
the
out.
surfaces off in my body so that it's not sticky anymore. And now I can eat these foods and they'll go through my body smoothly, and the energy will be, dispersed throughout my body a lot better versus where it sits and it becomes stored fat in your body instead of energy that's
Mhm.
meant to be burned and
Mhm.
used.
Yeah, it takes a lot more
Sugar
energy to
is-
burn stored fat. For
Mm.
sure. It's easier to burn it when it's still just in your system.
Mhm.
Yeah, we should have mentioned the water thing earlier. Water is really probably the most important. It's up there. Just drinking water.
Try to drink like
A lot of water, especially if you're working out.
gallon
That
to a
directly
gallon.
correlates.
Personal tip I'll give, like invest in a water bottle. Because one, you make the investment so you're more accountable to take care of it and drink from it and keep it around. And it just keeps you hydrated.
There we go. Salesman job.
Made a huge difference for me. I mean,
So-
mine's right
Never
here.
drink as much
So-
water as I have until I got this.
Yeah.
Half a
A
gallon.
wallop.
Try and drink 2 of them things a day.
I got a water bottle, it's not in reach.
Shout out Bubba.
Bubba. Oh man. All right, boys. That kind of brings it to a close. Unless anybody has any final remarks, I think, hopefully the people that listen through take something.
Final thing, one last remark, which we
Yeah,
mentioned
yeah,
in
yeah.
the health and fitness, is our main great reason to work out is to give thanks to what you are given. Be appreciative of your abled body. For all of you out there with 10 toes and 10 fingers, 2 arms, 2 legs, eyes to see, ears to hear, you got a tongue to taste, like be grateful for those things and show your gratefulness by taking care of those things. And even if you only got 1 arm, even if you're missing a few body parts, like you still got something there. You still got something to work with. You still got something to be grateful for. So like just be grateful. Be grateful for what you're given and take care of it. Show that gratefulness
so
by
true.
taking care of it.
It's so true.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, really and truly, there are people out there that aren't able to do that. So I think
appreciating
thinking about
it.
Perspective is pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm not gonna say much more past that. Those are some great words of wisdom from OGZ and Jipple to end us off. Bodie, appreciate you joining us today, man. And OG from season 1. Maybe we'll get some of the views back we had, man. See if it was Bodie that had brought the hype. But nah, this was awesome. Hopefully you guys took something from it. And as always, thanks for the support. Thanks for watching, reaching out. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.